Clash of the Classics.
Hey everyone, that's right. It's time for another episode of Horsepower for an Hour's Clash of the Classics, and today we're going to have some fun. I'm Donnie.
And I'm Chris.
And if you're new to the show, if this is the first time you've been around, maybe this is the first time you're checking us out, as always, every week we welcome all you new viewers and new listeners. It's all about the classics. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, here's what we do. We roll the clock back, we pit two classic models against one another. Then we check out interior stuff. We talk about engine and transmission. We talk about just about anything that occurs to us or that fancies us. And then at the end of the conversation, we choose which car that we like best. It's always a lot of fun. In fact, that's all it's about, is fun. For you folks out there that are trying to be serious about this, you're going to be disappointed because this is all about trying to chop it up and have a good time. What we'd like for you to do, we'd like to know which car you like best. Head on over to our website, our Facebook page, or here in our YouTube channel. Let us know which car you prefer and why you would prefer it. These battles are fueled by the largest automatic transmission network in the world. They are the Automatic Transmission Rebuilders Association, or simply the ATRA. All right, dude. This battle, 1966 Pontiac GTO battling the 1966 Plymouth Satellite. But hold on a minute. It's the Satellite 426 Hemi.
Oh, thank goodness it wasn't the stock one.
Yeah, because this car, as we were talking about before we went on today, this car looks just like what Grandma would drive to get milk from the market.
Yeah,
I mean,
but Grandma's getting milk a little bit faster now.
Yeah, she's getting home quick on this one because, Chrysler offered the 426 Hemi briefly, and it wasn't a very long stretch, and they offered it in limited numbers in some of the 65 Mopar intermediates. But with 12.5 compression and some pretty stout competition-grade tuning, it was a little too high-strung for the street. Well, that all changed in 1966 when the 426 Hemi V8 was added to the regular production option list. And here we go with the Satellite. Again, this is the epitome. If you're driving right now, listening to us, when it becomes safe, you gotta Google this car, Chris. This has got to be the ugliest Plymouth that we've talked about in the history of Horsepower for an Hour.
Which I feel like
makes it cool.
Well, in a way. I feel like the idea of pulling up on the line and having someone kind of do the kind of smug laugh at you, and then you take them in the beater, that's cool. I want that kind of thing where it's like, surprise, I was actually, in something cool the whole time.
Because you're not even driving Dad's car, you got Grandma's car now.
Yeah, but Grandma's car is smoking them all.
Yes.
So that is a fun idea for me. So that's kind of the saving grace of this, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's kind of like you look at it and you say, hey, what's on my tail lamp right there? What license plate frame do I have? I don't know. Give me 10 seconds, you'll know. And so that's kind of where we're at with this one. But
Grandma's boy.
Yeah, this 426 Hemi definitely rolling out. This has got two 4-barrel carburetors, compression ratio at about 10 1/4 to 1. Horsepower was rated at 425, probably closer to 475, with a whopping 500 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, and a quarter mile at just right up to 13 seconds, 13 and a half seconds. This car definitely, like you said, Chris, definitely a rockin' and rollin' vehicle. Rolled in, I think, 3,600 pounds. So the weight, the power-to-weight ratio, definitely in favor of this car. In fact, of all the cars that we've talked about over the last 4 or 5 weeks, whatever it's been, this car probably has the best power-to-weight ratio with this engine in it.
Oh, absolutely. At 3,600 pounds, what would you say the horsepower was? 475?
It's rated at 425, but actually kicking out about 475.
And I'm only concerned with the actually.
Yeah,
so that's
correct,
really impressive.
And then here's the best part. The sticker on it was right at about $3,900.
Sold.
So not a very good-looking car, but definitely a car that would light you up. There were a lot of 1966 Mustangs out there. Probably not the Shelby Mustang, but here's the thing. The Shelby Mustang, this would have been a heck of a run for a Shelby Mustang. But today we're going to pit it against another car. But before we do that, I want to talk to you about the largest automatic transmission network on the planet. They are the Automatic Transmission Rebuilders Association, or the ATRA. ATRA makes our Clash of the Classics possible. No one knows transmissions better than ATRA. They've got a member network that stretches coast to coast, and there is no better place to be when your car's got a transmission problem than an authorized ATRA service provider. All right, now let's go with the car that is truly the icon of all time. This is the poster child of all classic cars, far be it from wherever era you're talking about, whatever time zone you're in, whatever country you're in, whatever year you're talking about. It's all about, hands down, the GTO, the Pontiac GTO, and today it's the 1966 GTO. This car, definitely the GOAT when it comes, and it is definitely the greatest of all time. I don't know that there's anybody who would argue how cool the GTO is.
No, it's definitely a staple. It's an icon. It's a legend. It's all of those words that you can give it. I mean, it just is, and it deserves all of those titles.
It was created by one of my favorite bosses, John DeLorean, who was the president of Pontiac at the time. It was his creation. I had the privilege of working for John DeLorean for DeLorean Motor Company back in the early 80s. Many of our listeners might remember that. And, you know, every time now I see the GTO, I met John on 3 separate occasions. And when I see the car now, I have warm and fond memories of the guy. He was so kind, a huge, towering presence, but a heck of a nice guy. Just a real cool, classy dude.
Yeah, the more I hear about him, the more I wish I could have met him.
You'd have liked him. He's, again, a commanding presence. A guy had more money than just about anybody on the planet. Well, maybe not. That might be a stretch, but he was definitely well off. But, man, what a heck of a nice guy. Remembered my name, asked me how things were going, and I was just a very...
Was that a trip? Like, the guy that designed the GTO knows my name.
Yeah, it was, for me, it was weird. Now, a lot of people might find that to be superficial or something, but for me, I thought it was cool. You know, I mean, just a lowly, just an entry-level guy at the time. I was doing the automatic transmission research for DeLorean, the motor company, and I'm over in Santa Ana on MacArthur in Maine, and Main Street, and he walks in, and of course I'm thinking, whoa, this is so cool. And he said, Donnie, it's been a while. How have you been? And I'm like, hi, Mr. DeLorean. It's like, what do you say? It was so cool.
Yeah, GTO, I mean, it's great.
Yeah. But anyways, back to this GTO. Talk about unique styling. Talk about a cool factor that goes beyond just about any other car. This thing ran in at right about $3,600, had a 389 cubic inch displacement, ran 3 2-barrels, 10.75 to 1 compression ratio, torque right at about 424 pound-feet, 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds, and then through the quarter mile at right at about 14 seconds. All of those numbers may sound fun. All of those numbers may sound cool. Truth of the matter is, this thing is beyond cool, and it's all about the looks.
Oh, it's definitely all about the looks. I mean, that's one of those. What was that movie that came out a while back? Vin Diesel, Triple X.
I didn't see it.
It was it's a typical cheesy Vin Diesel early 2000s action movie. However, this car is featured heavily. It's got a pretty cool paint job where it kind of goes from blue to purple. They did a really good job at making that. I mean, not that it's hard to make a GTO look cool, but they did a really good job at just making it look grand and spectacular.
I have to check the movie out. I haven't seen it. I remember they used, what was the car they used in the Fast and Furious?
69 Charger.
Charger, right. Okay, yeah. Okay, well, this GTO, I not enough words and not enough time in this segment to talk about how cool this car is, but I'm going to ask you a simple question. Between these two cars, between this super cool 426 Plymouth Satellite and this Pontiac GTO, I think I know the answer. Where are you going?
It's actually, I'm a little torn.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that.
Because if we're going on just aesthetics, it's a clear winner. However,
there is a certain cool factor to the play.
It would be fun to win the race in this turd. You know?
Yeah.
That would just, like, the feeling of that would be almost, unrivaled. So
you're rolling Plymouth.
I don't know yet. I haven't really decided, but I'll go Plymouth. I'd say I want to win the race.
Okay, I got to go GTO only because my boy John. I mean, he's been dead now for some time, but I agree with you. There is it is so butt ugly on this satellite,
especially if you can get the front wheels off the ground. How cool would that be
in Grandma's car? So I'm going to roll GTO. Chris is going Plymouth. Any other car, I definitely would have rolled Plymouth only because, like you say, it's so unique, so ugly, so... What was the word you used to describe it? A turd. This is definitely a car, but it ran really well. So we've got a little bit of a problem. We're going to need you folks to let us know which car you like better. Go to our Facebook page, our website, or here at YouTube. Let us know which car you like. Today's Clash of the Classics made possible by the largest automatic transmission network in the world. They are the Automatic Transmission Rebuilders Association, or simply put, the ATRA. With certified service providers all across America, it's really easy to find competent service providers when you need a transmission guy the most. Head on over to atra.com to find an authorized transmission service provider near you. For Donnie, for Chris, for the entire Horsepower for an Hour crew, be safe, everyone. We'll see you next week.